Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Bolkcom. I'm a member of the Iowa Senate. I live in Iowa City. For the last 14 years, I've been on the Ways and Means Committee as ranking member, and then the last 6 years as committee's chair. Over this period of time, I've been very concerned about state spending in the area of tax credits and have led efforts to establish a tax credit review committee of the legislature, as well as trying to just raise question with this part of state spending. We're here this morning to really ask, on behalf of the people of Iowa, we need to know why Governor Branstad wasted $250 million in state and local taxpayer-provided subsidies to attract a fertilizer plant to Iowa when this international company involved was already going to get as much as $300 million in federal taxpayer subsidies, but only if it invested in Iowa. What's been mostly reported is the state and local subsidies to this plant. What has not been well investigated, and what we're going to lay out today, is that this plant, by locating in Iowa, had the benefit of as much as $300 million in taxpayer subsidies to bring this plant here. And that's the reason for that is that Iowa has the advantage of the Midwest disaster area bonds. Those were bonds provided by the federal government to counties that were declared federal disaster areas after the 2008 floods. Lee County and Scott County, both sites under consideration in Iowa for the fertilizer plant, both qualified for those bonds. There's a map that I've provided on the third page of the handout, shows that the Illinois counties that allegedly were under consideration in competition with Iowa never had access to those bonds because those counties were not federally declared counties. So we'd like to suggest that there was no reason for Iowa to waste $250 million to convince this giant international corporation to essentially do what it was going to do anyway. This is probably the worst economic development deal in the state's history. We should have used this money to cut commercial property taxes for every Iowa businesses instead of giving this multinational corporation this $250 million that we did not need to. There are a number of questions, obviously, that are raised by this. How did this happen? How can we prevent it from happening again? We have a new economic development organization that the governor lobbied us for, and we put in place with all the things that he thought were important to develop a strong economic development effort in the state. And I think one of the questions today is this model working, or do we need a new model that is not based on bribing corporations to invest in Iowa? Our strengths are hardworking people. We need to continue to invest in education, worker training, public safety, and all the kinds of things that make our state strong and attract investment. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
If the governor had not offered this and Branstad had chosen an alternate site, wouldn't you be just as harsh in your criticism for not offering these incentives?
Well, the incentive package right now would appear to be more than $500 million in federal, state, and local taxpayer support. I think the natural advantage we had in these locations along the Mississippi River, with access to rail, transportation, natural gas, and of course the river, were all naturally better sites than the sites in Illinois. And the big kicker here is they have available to them this federal subsidy on the cost of money that neither of the Illinois sites had. And the governor has said that we're in stiff competition with Illinois for these jobs. And when you dig a little deeper into the financing that was available only in Iowa, you have to raise question with whether or not he's portraying this accurately. We think that $300 million in savings and borrowing was a huge incentive for this company to locate in Iowa, in addition to all the logistical considerations that this plant would be taking in.
Do you think they just didn't factor in? I'm sure they were aware of it
I honestly don't know how this, the almost $300 million worth of taxpayer subsidies could not have been brought in to this conversation. But at this point, it appears that they apparently missed it.